unfolding the lies you've been told. They said to go to college, get a job, find a professional side of you, and live like that forever. Reproduce, juggling bills after bills every month. The constant inconvenience and struggle, it was the norms for majority. They've told you otherwise every day. Everyone's doing the same thing for ages, even though it's never what your soul wants. You were never born to be basic. Before we begin, if you're watching this, make sure you stay until the end. Every second of this message carries something that could shift your perspective and fuel your next move. You weren't born to perform to make other people feel comfortable. You're here to listen, to remember. To listen to the music that's already playing inside of you and move to its tune. You're here as an endless soul, here for an emerging and powerful soul transformation. You're here to grow, transform, transcend, and become. You are infinite. They handed you a blueprint, not a life. A silent agreement to play it safe, to follow the crowd, to shrink your soul into a system that profits from your obedience. But pause for a moment. Breathe. Now, how does this benefit the mass, and not you? Because your fear is being fed on to create harmony and balance in the society, mostly to prevent equality amongst humans. That's why power remains unbalanced, because the system creates ordinary humans so power stays concentrated in the hands of few. Have you ever observed why there's comfort in settling just enough to get you going and make you feel like you've got it all figured out? Never mind it's a facade just to keep the hunger away from you, trying to achieve even bigger. Because when the mind can think, the soul can achieve. You are bigger than what you think you are. You just need to search deep. What lightens up your soul? What makes you feel alive? What lights up the fire inside of you? And makes you roar like the lion in the jungle? Because that's what you're made for: the spiritual, emotional, and physical elevation. Every time someone dares to go beyond the norms, to break free from what's considered safe or usual, others begin to project their fears onto them, and not because they don't believe in the dream, but because they're afraid they never had the courage to follow theirs. So they try to dim that person's light, not out of malice, but to make the unfamiliar feel less threatening. Your change reflects something they're avoiding in themselves. They might not understand your choices. They may criticize you, mock you, or silently withdraw. Why? Because your courage to be different exposes their fear of staying the same. When you live up to your own expectation, not everyone likes it. You're on your sole purpose, and that doesn't resonate with everyone. Some people will try to bring you back, not out of hate, but out of fear. They love you the way you were: predictable, familiar, agreeable. When you evolve, it disrupts that dynamic. It threatens the comfort of who they thought you were. Not everybody will like it when you walk your own way, but you will like you, which is the beginning of everything real. They often line this path with the most uncomfortable things: uncertainty, fear of the unknown, and the deep loneliness that comes from choosing a road less traveled. It offers no guarantees, no predictable salary, no clear destination. That's why most avoid it. Yet, this path, unsteady as it is the one that transforms you. Its fires don't just burn, they refine. You begin to shed. The people who were never meant to stay will drift away like ash in the wind. And slowly, the right ones will appear, the ones who see your light because they carry the same glow within them. This is where you finally meet your true self. With so many questions: who am I? What am I here for? Isn't life more than this? Am I not here for something of greater purpose? Isn't it more than waking up just to repeat yesterday? More than clocking in, clocking out, and calling that existence? You are not here to simply function. You are not here just to survive the cycle. You are here to remember, to awaken, to create, to break generational illusions and reclaim the wild, untamed truth of your being. Purpose isn't handed to you in a diploma. Purpose is something that keeps you alive, wants you to make the next move, keep going, to live, to breathe. It's buried deep under the noise, beneath the scripts. Until you have found your purpose, you have not breathed. It just constantly feels like there's one or more missing parts of the puzzle. You were born to unfold, not conform. To rise, not repeat. And just when you begin to break free, the fear of failure creeps in. What if I leave the system and it doesn't work out? The system makes itself seem safe. It rewards conformity and punishes deviation with uncertainty, lack of security, or even isolation. So most people choose comfort over truth. They trade their soul's peace for a paycheck or social approval. The fear of being alone. If I walk my own path, who will walk it with me? This fear is real. When you wake up and stop doing what everyone else is doing, you will lose some connections. But this is sacred, because those who remain or arrive are often your true soul tribe. The fear of scarcity. I'll be broke, unstable, lost without the structure. This is one of society's strongest lies, that value only comes from economic gain. But abundance isn't only money, it's time, peace, clarity, self-love, creative flow, joy, deep relationships, freedom. You don't need to be poor to be free, but you also don't need to be rich to feel fulfilled. The fear of inner stillness. If I slow down and follow my own rhythm, I might confront who I really am. This is the root of most fear. Stillness reveals truth, and truth often unearths pain, trauma, and identity crises. But once felt, those wounds can be healed. And once healed, you become limitless and no longer controlled by the matrix. The truth is, the fear is meant to be felt and transcended. Fear is not a sign to stop. It's a sign of approaching your edge. If you feel this fear, it means you're getting closer to something real. The cage isn't locked, the door was never shut, but they taught you to be afraid of walking out. Because the moment you stop living their story, you start writing your own. Finding purpose is one of the deepest quests a human can undertake, and it's not found by searching out there, but by returning inward. Most people confuse purpose with roles, a job title, a degree, a life path someone else approves of. But purpose doesn't come from external validation, it comes from inner resonance. It begins when you ask, what makes my soul come alive? Not what earns the most money. Not what others expect. But what pulls you, calls you, even when no one's watching. Purpose often finds you after a breakdown, heartbreak, burnout, loss, disillusionment. The old life falls apart to make space for what's real. Pain becomes the portal. You realize you were living someone else's dream. Purpose begins when you start living your truth, not their script. You won't think your way into purpose, you'll feel your way in. The things you do effortlessly. The conversations that light you up. The activities that make you forget time. Purpose hides in your joy, your gifts, your deepest wounds, and your healing. Your purpose can be reached through stillness and presence. The world is loud. Purpose is quiet. It whispers in silence. Meditation, solitude, walking in nature, these open the space to hear your deeper calling. Purpose rises when you're being, not always doing. Your purpose expands when it's no longer just about you. Who do you want to help? What pain do you want to ease in the world? Often, your purpose is hidden in what you once lacked, what you wish someone gave you. It's not found, it's remembered. It isn't a destination. It's remembering of who you were before the world told you who to be. It's already in you, waiting to be uncovered layer by layer as you return to your truth. Let this be your affirmation. I may not know exactly where I'm going, but I trust the pull of what feels alive within me. My purpose unfolds as I honor my truth. Finding your purpose isn't about wealth or a rich partner. It's a soul journey that breaks every bone in your body, pushing you to express yourself in a way that feels deeply aligned and truly heard. When you begin to chase your purpose, truly walk your soul path, you naturally begin to lose interest in the small hits of false pleasure and temporary highs. You're not forcing discipline. You're simply seeing through the illusion. Dopamine versus deep fulfillment before purpose you chase. The next like, notification, validation. Shopping, scrolling, approval, comparison. Addictions disguised as fun, distractions masked as rest. They feel good for a moment, but they leave a void because they're not you. Then something shifts. You start following what feels aligned. Your energy moves differently. You want silence, not noise. Creation, not consumption. Meaning, not applause. Why? Because your soul is awakening. And your light doesn't crave stimulation, it craves expression. You realize the things you thought would make you happy were just clever ways to delay your becoming. When you listen inward, your light leads. It doesn't scream. It whispers, you're not here to escape yourself. You're here to remember yourself. In simpler words, purpose silences the craving. Peace replaces the chase. Power comes not from control, but from alignment. And when you're in alignment, dopamine becomes a servant, not your master. And if this message resonated with you, if it made you breathe a little deeper, or reminded you of your own vision, you can support this journey by buying me a coffee, using the link in the bio right beneath this video. Your support means a lot. Every small act of support fuels more meaningful content like this. Thank you for being part of the vision.